Hello, D-Gens. Welcome to Degenerate Takes. I, of course, am the Brofict one, AJ. Happy Wednesday, August 13th, 2025. Hope you're having a great week. We have got the BMW Championship coming up starting tomorrow and playoff golf all weekend long. I'm about to break down the entire course, everything you need to know, and the best picks of the night. Before we go through anything else, though, do just want to take a moment, shout out to everyone watching here on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. Let's get the elephant in the room out of the way already. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, Noah will not be able to join me tonight. The money train will not be with us. However, that isn't going to stop us. He did go ahead and send me his picks, and so I do have his picks locked and loaded for everything tonight. So we're going to be got all the D-Gen picks tonight, all the D-Gen picks. Luckily, it is a smaller card. We're talking BMW Championship, so it is a 50-person field, the top 50 golfers in the FedEx Cup rankings going into that. We'll get into that tournament in a little bit more. I do just want to talk about a little golf news coming across the timeline today, as we've got some big news on just huge news. Neil Shipley from the Ohio State, golfer that we first saw on the scene, really on the professional scene, at the 2024 Masters tournament, where he was, I believe, the top amateur in that event. Well, now, in his rookie season on the Corn Ferry Tour, he has gone ahead and secured his 2026 player card with his second win of the season. Not only that, he is currently on a hot streak with 5 straight top 10s. Neil Shipley is playing great golf right now on the Corn Ferry Tour and was a guy that we saw in the Masters in 2024. Play incredible golf. And he seems to be just a guy. And I'm not going to start saying anything crazy or anything like that. We'll see how he plays with the big boys in tournaments, regular season, etc., etc. He'll be one of those guys next season that we see playing as many tournaments as possible. So I think we're going to get real comfortable with Neil Shipley fairly quick and get very familiar with his game, which is something I'm a fan of. I mean, the guy rules. The guy absolutely rules. Kills his interview. Has the passion for golf that you need, a great mullet to back it up. I mean, Neil Shipley is, I think, everything you're looking for in a modern day golfer right now. And I'm a big fan of what Neil Shipley has to bring to the PGA. I'm excited to see him compete with the big boys. And I will make one bold statement regarding Neil Shipley on this show here. I do think he wins next year on the PGA Tour. I do think he takes home a win next year on the PGA Tour. Will it be a signature event? Maybe. I mean, from what we've been seeing out of him on the Corn Ferry, he is a guy that is going to have that kind of oomph behind him. But is it more than likely going to be maybe one of those lower tier events after a major or something like that? You never know. But I do think that he is going to be a guy that we see rocking a PGA Tour victory by the end of 2026. And so one of the young golfers I'm very excited about. And, you know, I'm not going to lie. I'm glad Liv didn't get a hold of him. I'm glad Liv didn't try to throw a bunch of money at him. Or maybe they did, and he just was like, F that. We're not doing that. I'm going to go to the PGA Tour. So shout out to him. I mean, he is on the Corn Ferry, so I guess he would have already had to sign with Liv or could have already signed with Liv, but they didn't want him. I don't know. Liv golf's a mess. I'm gonna take 5 minutes on this. I'm sorry, guys. I got to because okay. So here's where we're at. I was watching golf this weekend, and I will say I do appreciate the fact that YouTube TV has gotten better with the multi-channel and everything like that. You know, the double screens, triple screens, quad screens. I'm a big fan of what they've done in the overhaul they've done of that with the upcoming of football season. And watching Live Golf, it's okay. It's not bad. I'm going to go ahead and start there. It really isn't that bad. At the end of the day, it is golf, and there's only so many different ways to cover golf. And if anything, watching Live Golf now reminds me a lot more of almost what these golf channels are doing now. You know what I mean? It gives me, it feels like that's the vibe they're going for and everything. And it's not a bad thing. You know, it's not a bad thing. And I appreciate that Liv is trying to do something different and everything like that, et cetera, et cetera. The biggest issue I think with Liv isn't the amount of rounds they play. It's not that they're not OWGR, not getting any points there. I don't think it's any of that. I think the real issue with Liv is just how they came on the scene. I don't think it has anything to do with what the actual product on the course is. Because the product on the course isn't bad. You know, yeah, you can get past the shotgun finishes. You can get past, well, they're on their 8th hole, but they're on this, this whole number. You can get past all of that. It's a different, I think it's just the way they did it. They announced they were going to come out, and then they went to the PGA and signed everybody. I feel like if maybe this was a slower rollout or something like that, maybe it would have been something. And I'm not saying that it's not something or won't become something, but it's not in a good place right now. And it's really not about to be in a good place right now with these quote unquote contracts supposed to be expiring at the end of this year or beginning of next. And just looking at the field right now, I bet a bunch of guys are going to re-sign because they know with the golf going on right now in the PGA, they can't hold a candle. And you think I'm bullshitting or being a PGA plug? We've seen the results at majors. Outside of John Rahm's one good run, it's really been Tyrrell Hatton and Bryson DeChambeau who have been prominent in those majors. Those are the only 2 Live guys. And considering the fact that the majors now are really the only way they can get OWGR and qualify for those majors, they aren't already pre-qualified, or exempt from the tournament, it's tough. It's tough. And Liv's not in a good place because they're going to be drenching of the big talent name. And the big talent name is Bryson DeChambeau. I have no doubt in my mind he is going to jump ship back to the PGA the moment he gets the opportunity. Absolutely no doubt in my mind that he's going to come back. I don't think he would have gone through all the PR training and his YouTube channel and everything if he didn't want to come back to the PGA and be a big name on the PGA. Not saying he wasn't a big name on the PGA when he was here, because he absolutely was a big name. But he would be at almost a different stratosphere now. And he would be on the level of Rory and Scotty. And not saying he wasn't, but the most interesting thing about Brooks Koepka, about Bryson, besides how far he could drive, was his hatred towards Brooks Koepka and vice versa. You know what I mean? And that was a fun summer of golf right there. You were always hoping, are they going to pair them up? Are they going to pair up Brooksy and Bryson? Can we see that? Can we see it, please? It was great. And so, anyway, that was my 5 minutes on Liv. We haven't talked about them a lot. And so I wanted to give them a shout out because I did watch a tournament this weekend. And I want credit for that. I do want credit for the fact that I watched Live Golf this weekend. And I'm going to take it. But enough about that. That's all the real news I have in the golf world right now. But, I mean, hey, it'll be interesting to see what Liv does in the next couple of years. That's for sure. That is for sure. But let's go ahead. Let's get into it. We're talking BMW Championship, second round in the FedEx Cup playoffs after what was a very exciting St. Jude start to the playoffs. We get playoff rounds. We get 3 playoff rounds. Justin Rose comes away with the win. JJ Spawn not that far behind. just absolutely on a tear lately, JJ Spawn. Getting hot when it matters and playing your best golf when it matters. You'll love to see it. And I will say the memes over the weekend of Scotty Scheffler just hunting down JJ and Fleetwood and Rose was hilarious. It was hilarious. And that really, I think, does speak to the greatness that is Scotty. Because he is one of those guys. You go into a tournament, you go into a Sunday on a tournament. If he is 7 or less strokes back, he's making a run. He's making a run at it. And it's absolutely awesome to watch. And part of the reason that has made golf, I think, that much better over the last couple of years is because we have a guy that it's like, well, yeah, these other guys are leading, but Scotty's only 5 back. You don't hear that about Rory, and we know why we don't hear that about Rory, but that's another conversation for later. He's actually playing this week, so shout out to Rory for deciding to show up to work. Appreciate it, Rory. But let's go ahead, get into it. BMW Championship this year being played at Caves Valley Golf Course in Owings Mills, Maryland. Shout out to Owings Mills, Maryland. This is a it is a $20 million purse and a course that has undergone a lot of changes since in 2023. That is when the changes really took place at this course, and it's up there. It was 2021 the changes took place. It's what the fuck? I'm sorry, the website I'm reading is not making any sense. Summer 2023. I'm not losing my mind, guys. I promise. I know what I'm doing. Overhauled the course. Did a lot of new stuff, and I'm not talking just, cosmetic or anything like that. They made changes to the greens, changed the grass to this new bent grass, It's a faster, firmer surface, not only on the fairways, but on the greens as well. So you are going to see some rolling shots on those fairways, and you're going to see all those greens working really fast against these golfers, fighting against that community in Maryland. And the big thing on this course, you've got a lot of long par 4s and a lot of long par 5s. So it's going to be not only how far you can hit that driver, but where you're going to land it, because that thing's going to roll with how fast allegedly how fast these fairways should be playing. And so can you get it the distance and land it where you want to so it can roll out and stay on the fairway and not roll into any roughs or anything like that? The roughs aren't going to be fun. I'm going to let you know that right now. But that's going to be what we're looking for. And then not only that, we mentioned long par 4s. So your long irons are going to need to be dialed in and placing darts on or near the green where you want to. So you can get the bounce and the rollout you want, or you can get the bounce and the rollout you want. Again, you're dealing with fast moving greens, fast moving fairways. It's going to be tough. And during those nice little renovations, the sand traps, they made them a hell of a lot more fun. Let's just put it that way. A hell of a lot more fun. So definitely a challenging course that should be hosting championship level golf, playoff level golf. And so again, absolute beautiful course. Where you place your driver is going to be important. How you handle your long irons is going to be important. And Noah and I's picks, I think, really reflect that going into this weekend. And we'll get to those in a moment. Before we do that, let's get to the Money Train Choo Choo weather report, sponsored by Road Dog. It is going to be a weekend in Owings Mills, Maryland. Thursday, we do have high of 87, but we are dealing with rain. Yes, 50% chance of rain, but it looks like it's going to be a little bit higher than that going into it. So could be dealing with some, I guess, softer, but the way this redesign worked, it was better drainage. Road Dog, yes, that is you. What's good, bro? But the way they did this redesign, they redid the drainage as well. And so it is to drain as much water away as fast as possible to try to keep those greens and those fairways as firm and fast as possible and as consistent as they can during play. So that is something to keep in mind. Like, yes, you are going to be dealing with weather elements throughout the day, but the way the greens are set up and the way the fairways are set up, it might not be nearly as much of a hassle as it would be on other courses. Friday, not too bad. 84 degrees, 5 mile an hour winds, not bad at all. 76% humidity though. That's called a rough day. That's called a sticky day, a shitty day. Not a day I would want to be outside playing golf. That's for damn sure. And then mostly the same on Saturday, 86 degrees Fahrenheit, 70% humidity. And then ending on Sunday, high of 90, 63% humidity, 7 mile an hour wind. So wind is going to be there, not going to be nearly as big of a factor as it has been in the last couple of weeks. And besides Thursday with the rain and the heat just throughout the weekend and the humidity, should be a good weekend of golf, of playing golf for the guys. And so we'll see how they react to it. We'll see how they react to it, but let's not wait any longer. Let's go ahead and get into the top 20 of the BMW Championship. We will start with the money train Noah's picks. And he's going to go ahead and start off with Rory McIlroy here at minus 500. And if you've watched this show long enough, you know Noah is okay with taking those longer odds on what has been a more sure thing. And I hate to say that in sports gambling, but what feels like it has been a more consistent bet hitting. How about I say it that way? You know, it is Rory. It is Rory. When it comes to Sunday, is there a chance he's going to choke away the lead, choke away out of the top 5? Yeah, probably. That's Rory McIlroy golf. But will he be left out of the top 20? Probably not, especially with only a 50 golfer field. He'd have to play really freaking bad for that to transpire. And don't get me wrong, Rory can have bad weeks. I don't think he can have a week that bad. So I don't hate the pick. I hate the number. I don't hate the pick, hate the number. Big thing. Noah's next pick, he's going to be taking Russell Henley at minus 165 here. Henley playing some good golf last couple of weeks, and I like the pick here with Noah at minus 165. Solid golfer, and I think the course conditions play into it. He's controlled with his driver, plays those long irons really well, and can hit some darts onto the green when needed. So shout out to Russell Henley. And then if you've been watching this show long enough, you know Noah's been high on him this season. You know I've hopped on the bandwagon. Ben Griffin at minus 150 to top 20 this. Minus 150. One of the better numbers I would say we've seen with Ben Griffin, especially with this small of a field. Feels like he should be sitting there with Russell Henley, JJ Spawn at the 165, 175. But hey, we'll go ahead and take the 150 where the book will give it to us. So let's roll with that. And then Noah going with another hot golfer the last couple of weeks. Matt Fitzpatrick sitting at minus 140. Good showing across the pond at the Genesis and the Open. Good showings at the end of the season and in the St. Jude. Sitting here at minus 140 to top 20. Love that one. Noah's next shot is going to be Harris English sitting at minus 120. Don't hate the pick. Don't love the pick. One of those picks that, yeah, it's a pick. Minus 120 from there. Another one I absolutely love, and a golfer that I got to bet on this weekend, Akshay Bhatia at minus 105, has quietly been one of the hottest golfers in the last couple of weeks, just cannot get it done on Sundays. Bhatia, though, has his tool bag is fit for this course. Like if you were to say design a course that Akshay Bhatia would excel at, it's what we're looking at here with the BMW Championship. And I think it's going to be another typical Akshay run we've seen the last couple of times out. He has a very strong Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and is competing, but unfortunately falls apart for some reason on Sunday. And if that's the case, I mean, it sucks, but I love Akshay at minus 105 to top 20 here. I absolutely love it. And then Noah's last pick in the top 20 is only plus money one on this side of the board. Andrew Novak sitting at plus 125 there. He's been on him. I like it. He's been playing strong. Am I going to take him? I'm on the fence. I'm not going to lie. I'll go ahead and start my picks in the plus money. You know it's playoff time. He's been playing good golf towards the back half of the season. And I don't think we can deny that anymore. And yes, I am a fanboy, but sometimes you got a fanboy. Give me Sung J M at plus money to top 20. Yeah. Give me Sung J to plus 120 this one. Again, a guy that will have a very strong front half of the week and will kind of disappear into the weekend. That's fine. That's fine. We don't need him to win. We just need him to top 20. Give me Sung J at the plus 120. I'm all over Akshay at minus 105. Absolutely love that. I am going to take a little action on Bobby Mack at minus 110. I like the way he's been playing golf the last couple of weeks and think he's going to roll with that. And this is more of a patriotic pick than anything. Give me the captain minus 125 to top 20 this. I really want Keegan Bradley to get the points necessary to not have to pick himself for the Ryder Cup. I really want a player captain this year, and I think Keegan Bradley would be the perfect guy to be a player captain if Scotty's not going to be the one to do it. And he had an incredible beginning and middle of the season. It's kind of fallen off towards the end, but not something that he can't find, in the next couple of months leading up to the Ryder Cup. So love Keegan Bradley in this spot at minus 125. I'll co-sign the Matt Fitzpatrick play. I'm going to co-sign the Ben Griffin play. Co-sign Russell Henley. And I'm taking JJ Spawn at minus 175. The guy's been hot. I'm going with JJ Spawn at minus 175 to top 20 of this thing. Bro has been so hot. But that is all I'm at on the top 20. That's all Noah's got in the top 20. Let's go ahead, get to the top 10. And this is where you're going to start to see our card getting a little smaller. Granted, a smaller field, but just not as many plays in here. Let's go ahead and start with Noah's picks, and I'll sprinkle mine in here as well. He is going to bite on Scotty at minus 550 here in the top 10. I don't blame it. I don't hate it. Don't love it, but I don't hate it. He's also on Rory at minus 165, and I'll even bite on Rory at minus 165 too. Again, not a guy that I'm going to take money on to be in the top 5 or outright here, but I will take for him to be in the top 10 at minus odds. Noah's next shot here. I'll sprinkle my picks in while we do this. I am going to take Ludwig to top 10 this as well. I think he's been playing incredible golf, and I want him to succeed, and I think he's got that opportunity here. I'm also going to be taking a shot on Tommy Fleetwood at plus 125. This poor bastard has had such an incredible season, and he just can't get in there to win. He cannot get over the hump whatsoever. And we don't need him to. We just need him to top 10. So I'll take top 10 Tommy Fleetwood at plus 125. As I mentioned, I'm on JJ Spawn. Give me plus 175 to top 10. This is the type of golf he's been playing. Where is he? Noah's on Ben Griffin at plus 200. I'm on him as well to top 5. And then Noah's also, where did I miss him? Nope. Russell Henley plus 190 there for Noah. And then Akshay Bhatia plus 275. I'm on that as well for all the reasons we just talked about. And then Noah is going to end it with Andrew Novak at plus 360. I will take a flyer on Sung Jae at plus 360 as well. That's going to be as far as I'm taking Sung Jae. On Akshay Bhatia, as I mentioned, on Ben Griffin, on JJ Spawn, Ludwig, Tommy. Yeah, that's all I got in the top 10 as well. It's hard with such a short field. You don't want to go too deep because, it's kind of like playoffs, NFL playoffs. Like you kind of like wild card round. That's what it's like. It's like the wild card round in the NFL playoffs. Like, yes, crazy things can happen, but you kind of got an inkling on who's going to win and how this is all going to play out. So let's go ahead and move on to the top 5 here. Noah's only got 3 plays in this. I think I have around the same. Scotty at minus 250. This is going to be the first time I jump on Scotty for the tournament at the minus 250. Absolutely love that there. Noah's next shot is Ben Griffin to top 5 at plus 500. And lastly, and I'll co-sign this one, Akshay Bhatia at plus 650. And again, you want to design a course that fits everything Akshay is good at. This is the course that he is built for. Love Bhatia this weekend. The only other, I'm going to take JJ at plus 400. I think the way he's been playing, it's almost a little insulting to be putting him below Ludwig, Cantlay, and Thomas. And don't get me wrong, I've had good seasons, but I don't think I've had nearly the back half of the season JJ has had. I like the points. I like the money where Tommy Fleetwood's at to top 5, but it's just one of those things. Outrights. Noah doesn't have any outrights. The only guy I can, again, like I said last week, the only guy I can consciously put any money on pre-tournament is Scotty Scheffler, plus 225. It's just one of those things. How do you not take Scotty at plus money before a tournament? And it's absolutely crazy. He is 500. It's 525 points that separate him and Rory in favorites here, which is just wild, but speaks to the career Scotty has had over the last 2 years. And I would say his whole career, but really his last 2 years, just being the dominant force that he is. And Rory's, I hate to say it, but lack of fire, lack of want, lack of competition. It doesn't feel like he's playing golf to win anymore. It feels like he's playing golf to get away from the wife and kids for a weekend. I hate to say that, but since he won the Masters, and I would even say before the Masters, we haven't really seen any life out of Rory. And we still haven't. The most fire we've seen out of Rory in the last 5 years was that Masters. And again, I'm glad that he could complete the Grand Slam, and I'm glad that weight was lifted off his shoulder. But God, it just doesn't, it doesn't work. It doesn't look good. It doesn't work. And it feels like he just doesn't want to be here anymore. And I floated it by the last time Noah and I talked about this. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes ahead and signs with Liv. I really wouldn't. And I know he put his foot down and everything like that, but it seems like he wants to spend time with his family more, which is great. I'm not going to tell a guy who has had an incredible career already to not spend more time with his family. But when he shows up, it feels like John Daly is showing up, or like Tiger's showing up. Like, yeah, he'll probably have 1 round, maybe 2 good rounds, but it's Rory. So he'll probably, sink into the background on the back half. And that feels like where we're at. And I think that was a big statement with missing the St. Jude and everything. It feels like that's where Rory's at. It'd be nice to win a tournament again, but he doesn't really need to. He'll top 10. He'll be fine. He'll make more money. He's got all his sponsorships and everything like that. I don't know, man. It doesn't work. It's not working for me with Rory. And I hope I'm wrong. I really do. I hope I'm wrong. I hope we see a fired up Rory McIlroy who is ready to win and compete. And again, I'm not saying he doesn't come out there not wanting to win, not wanting to compete. It just definitely feels like there's something else preoccupying his mind. Not that there shouldn't be, but still. It's not good for the sport. It's not good for the fans when one of these guys who, at the end of the day, is one of the all-time greats, is just coming in and phoning it in, or at least it feels like he's phoning it in, and then just wants to yell at the media for no reason. I don't get it. I don't get it with Rory. I wish I could get it with Rory. But, I mean, ever since we started this show, we haven't been able to get it with Rory. And we've tried to spin it other ways and stuff like that, but it doesn't work out. It doesn't work out. He hasn't worked out. I don't know. And I hate to say that it hasn't worked out with a guy that quote unquote had the PGA on his back during the whole live thing. But Scotty was really coming up during that. And so Scotty, more than anything, was holding everything together. Rory was just the loudest there. I don't know, man. I don't know. Rory will always blow my mind. Always. Well, that's all I got tonight. I hope everyone enjoys the BMW Championship this weekend. I should be live tomorrow night, run through a couple more fantasy teams and some fantasy football drafts. Not going to want to miss that. Do some Friday happy hour sports talk, and then enjoy a weekend full of sports, getting ready for the NFL season, college football season approaching. Noah and I will be live next Monday with a college football preview and a preview of rankings and everything else in between. So yeah, you don't want to miss it. And hey, if you like what we're cooking, please hit that like button, hit the follow button. Does help us out a lot more than you know. Shout out to everyone watching us here on Rumble, YouTube, and X. Y'all are the best. If you like what we're cooking, please hit those like buttons, hit the follow buttons. Does help us out a lot more than you know. But with all that being said, I've been the Brofect One, AJ. Have an incredible rest of your night. Enjoy the BMW Championship. Good luck. God bless. See you guys next time on Degenerate Takes.